Thank you for checking out this episode of Wiregrass Daily News Sports. You can find the podcast over at wiregrassdailynews.com or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please follow, rate, and review. Leave a review, and I will read it on a future edition of the show. And if you just leave 4 stars, you are just a straight-up hater. You can follow me on social media over at PJordanSEC. You can email me at sportstalkphillipjordan@gmail.com. What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Wiregrass High School Football Report on Wiregrass Daily News Sports and part of DGO Strategies. This is your weekly look at all things high school football in the Wiregrass. I am your host, Phillip Jordan, the in-studio host and producer of Nothing Was Football on 96.9, the legend, and Auburn writer for Last Word on college football. Everybody joining me on the show today, we're joined by Marc Sieving, head coach over at the Elba Tigers. They won in the first round of the playoffs on Friday night against University Charter out of Livingston, beat them 70-8. And Coach, congratulations on the first round playoff win.
Thank you, Phillip. It's good to always be able to host that first game, and really proud of our guys and the way they went out there and played. I told them at the halftime. I literally had nothing negative to say, which is very rare, about how we played. It just seems like everything's clicking, kind of like we've planned on it clicking at this time of year, and hope it just gets better for this week.
Yeah, it just seemed like you're keeping up with the score and reading up on and seeing some stuff after the game. Just like you guys really just continue from the momentum and how y'all were playing for the regular season into that first round game.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you do. You want to be playing your best ball there towards the end, and I mean, University Charter School, they're a relatively new school, so they were, their coach told me that the meeting the previous week that they were really just happy that they were in the playoffs. So, it was definitely a mismatch in our favor, but now, that's what we work for. So, we don't apologize for that, and. Like we tell our players, look, the opponent doesn't matter. We want to play to a standard, and that's the Elba Tiger standard, and really felt like they did that in all facets of the game. Felt like we dominated all facets of the game on Friday night. So,
yeah, it's not them. I think I saw it was their second year of playing football. So just congrats to them for making. That's a big thing too. Just any program get to the playoffs in year 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's I could imagine. What he told me. He said, "Coach, I was here before the first knee pad got here." So, he's been there. That head coach is Coach Mosley, I believe. Sam Mosley's his name, I think. And he said, that they'd just been starting out and everything, and so yeah, that's a big accomplishment for their team, and they may be a team on the rise in the future. So, because I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, we didn't even. University Charter, we were like, where are they from, and then we started watching their film and saw they were playing their home games at West Alabama's campus, so, we said, okay, it must be Livingston, so, but yeah, good coach, and I'll say this, they got a good team. I mean, they had a good scheme, and, but we went out there and just dominated, so, every time we got a hold of the ball, we were scoring really quick and got some big stops, and we gave up a couple plays here and there, but, ended up recovering from that and not giving up points, which was really, really good. Sometimes we're prone to give up an early touchdown, and it was good to see that we didn't do that this week.
Running back Alvin Henderson had a great game, 7 touchdowns. Coach, I was looking, he scored running, receiving, punt return, kick returner. Was there any chance that he was going to get to throw a pass on Friday night? Because it seemed like that's the only way he didn't score for you guys.
Yeah, he actually has thrown a couple this year for us. So, but the here's a stat you may not know is he only had 6 carries. So I mean, he was literally just scoring at will. In all facets of the game, like you said, and I mean, I was sitting there like I couldn't believe that at the end of the game. I said, "Are you serious? He only had 6 carries?" Because it seemed like he had a lot more than that, but. Our offense just wasn't out there on the field that much because, whenever we got the ball, I mean, we were just quick to score, so felt like our defense was out there most of the night. But I'll tell you what, now you can rest assured that going forward, he's going to be getting more than 6.
Yeah, I guess like I said, for you guys going forward, I know we talked about this when I had you on during the season too. That he was getting a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards, but not a lot of carries, and you said that's a benefit for later on. So he would be fresh toward this time of year. So that's got to be a great advantage for you guys.
Yeah, he's ranked. I think he's ranked number 1 in the state right now for yards, and the guy that's second has got like 300 carries. Alvin's got less than 150. I know. So, the difference is Alvin's, averaging 17, something a carry or close to it. And so, yeah, I mean, he's fresh and ready to go and ready, for more of the load. So, and he's not the only one we got that can score. I think we've really shown that over the course of the season. Caden Atkins is a force to be reckoned with at the wingback, and Braden Johnson is, he's a powerful runner at quarterback, and then we bring in guys like Cody Gray and Cassidy Carpenter, that have all scored in games. So we've got a lot of ways we can score, and we can throw the ball, if we need to. We just, we have a little bit of a different philosophy, the way that we play football, and we take pride in running the football, and that's what we're going to do until you stop us. So there's really no need to throw it if you're being successful running it.
Oh, absolutely. It did. I know on Friday night for Perdidoth and Eagle, you had Cody Gray got in the end zone, Braden Johnson, and Gerard Anderson too as well. So, like I said, it was Alvin Henderson. A lot of people got a chance to get into the end zone on Friday night.
Yeah, that's good. And got to play a lot of young guys there in the second half, and we did against McKenzie the previous week also. So, that experience just helps us in the future, and we're glad we could get those guys some reps and get in there, and they get in there and compete and did really good on the offensive side of the ball the past 2 weeks with the young guys, but still need some work on the defensive side of the ball. So.
Yeah, talking about on the defense side of the ball, I was looking at some stats for you guys over at Max Preps. And for one, your defense has tons of tackles for losses, which just looks like you guys just live in the opponent's backfield. Caden Atkins had 86 tackles on the regular season and 29 tackle for losses. I know Jacob Watkins is another, had 18. So that seems like a great strength for you guys, just staying in the opponent's backfield.
Yeah, those guys are both linebackers for us, and we do have a pressure package that we're bringing those guys occasionally and things like that, and they're guys that if you don't block them, I mean there's those two can make they're great tacklers. So and defensively, really proud with how our defense has done this year. We're so much better than we were last year, and a lot of the touchdowns that we've given up have been I'm talking about throughout the whole season. I don't know. I know we're not, quote unquote ranked, defensively, but, a lot of that is our touchdowns that we're giving up are our young guys, and, that we put in there towards the end of the game, and we're okay with that. We know that's going to happen. I mean, we get up 50-0 on somebody, and we put in our young guys, and, I've got 2 ninth grade corners out there, and they're, they start throwing bombs to their 6'3" receivers, for touchdowns. My ninth grade corners, they just don't have the experience to be able to cover those guys. So, our defense is playing good. Our defensive line, Siler and Caleb Mitchell are dominant up there, and really proud of how our inside linebackers, those guys, we have 3 of them that can just, they show up every week and, make some big plays for us. And against McKenzie, I think we had 5 interceptions in that game. So we're getting it done on the back end also. So, really pleased with how the defense is playing. We actually, this week we were without our starting corner, Cameron Gray, and we get him back this week. So we're excited to get him.
Yeah, and then talking about your matchup for this week in the second round, you'll be hosting Millry, who's 9-2 on the season, beat Notasulga 55-0 also in the first round. And I was watching some highlights on them, and it looks like they're a team that likes to push the ball down the field with their quarterback, Dalen Edmonds. So having your quarterback back will be big there, but just kind of like when you see with this matchup.
Well, they're an outstanding football team, and I'll tell you, their coaching staff does an outstanding job. Those guys are good year after year, and things, things from this point forward are going to be a little bit different. We're playing some quality teams that if we don't play good can beat us, and Millry's definitely in that category. They're very effective offensively. They can, take the ball, move it down the field. They can, 9-10 play drives and not have any penalties or any turnovers. Very disciplined in that respect. And then, defensively, boy, they've just hardly given up any points all year at all. They really swarm to the football. They got big linemen that are real gritty. I would call their defense gritty. I mean, guys that really, really swarm to the football, are relentless in their pursuit of the ball and can tackle when they get there. So, it's definitely going to be a different type of game. We're not going to, we're not going to be able to just go out there and run through them, like we have some of our other opponents. And of course, it's a tough game for them too. I mean, we've got confidence in our kids. And I know our kids are going to be excited for the challenge, and I'm sure theirs will too, and that'll make for a great second-round football game.
And looking at, again, I'll bring up their quarterbacks. As I said, he looks like he's a runner and a passer. And just, from your years of coaching, when you go up against a quarterback that's kind of got that dual threat side to him like that, what's always like the biggest keys to that?
Well, I mean, one of the things we were talking about today that we're going to, send a message to our players is don't let 11 beat you. And, we got to find a way to affect him. He's a really good passer. So, if we can get him in some long down and distance situations and maybe pressure him a little bit, and make him throw off his back foot, make him throw on the run, make him throw a bad ball, those things, those are big. It doesn't have to be a sack every time. It can just be, just affect the throw. We tell our guys, if we can affect the throw, then, that's as good as a sack a lot of times. So, and then, they're capable everywhere else. They got a little number 10 who's an outstanding player. He's probably their best receiver. Quarterback seems to really like throwing the ball to him. He's a kid that can get open, understands how to run routes. You can tell he's a real smart player. And he's, very quick and fast and deceptively so. He just doesn't look it, but you give him the ball and he can definitely hurt you. So, yeah, it's going to be a challenge defensively. They run a ton of formations. They're a spread team, run a ton of formations. So, you got to make sure, our biggest thing with that is we feel like if we can just get lined up correctly, and you'd be amazed at sometimes how difficult that is. But if we could just get lined up correctly, that we've got a chance to stop people, and so dealing with that many formations this week, as many as they do, I haven't counted them all up, but I've got about 6 sheets of paper in there full of them. So it's going to be a challenge, and you kind of get into the what do you work on? Because you don't know what you're going to see exactly because they do so much offensively. So definitely tough team to prepare for and a tough team in general, the way that they play the game.
And finally, before I let you go, just any last thoughts going into this matchup? Just, hey, you guys are going to be at home, get the home crowd on your side and all that packed out there at Elba.
Yeah, we had some rain on Friday night, and that affected our crowd a little bit and maybe people from coming out. But, I'll tell you what, man, Elba's been good to us over the years. The community has in supporting our team. And if there was ever a game where we're going to need it, we need it on Friday night. So, really want everybody to come out and everybody else too. If your team got beat and you want to come see a good football game, head over to Elba High School because us and Millry is going to be a good one. And our boys are excited about it. We've got a lot of confidence in our players and in our team, and we want to try to take this thing as far as we can, and we can. Our crowd definitely plays a huge role in that. So we would appreciate any support that we got.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I wish you good luck this Friday. I know people in the Wiregrass will be cheering for you. It won't be just the Elba crowd. It'll be the Wiregrass as a whole will be cheering for the Elba Tigers this Friday night as y'all host Millry. And I appreciate you coming on the show, Coach, and talking about your playoff win and previewing the matchup.
Thank you, Phillip. Appreciate you having me.
Want a chance to see the Iron Bowl in person? Enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to the Iron Bowl on Saturday, November 25th. To enter, simply complete the form at 969thelegend.com. The winner will be announced on Friday, November 17th.
96.9 The Legend is your connection to classic country legends. But Digio Strategies has other options too. News Talk 103.9 is your source for America's top news and entertainment shows like Rick and Bubba in the morning, Glenn Beck from 9 till 11 a.m., and Clay Travis and Buck Sexton middays from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Sean Hannity, Lars Larson, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, and others fill your day with the latest news and views from America's top conservative voices. America at Night and Coast to Coast AM keep you company and connected throughout the night. Plus, Fox News, the Alabama Radio Network, and Wiregrass Daily News keep you informed with national, international, state, and local news. And with more musical choices like All the Hits, 106.7 KMX, Today's Country, 95.5 WTVY, and Music 107.7. Digio Strategies gives you more choices and more variety. Listen on air, online, and on our apps. 96.9 The Legend is just the beginning.
All right. Thanks again to Coach Marc Sieving for coming on the show, and good luck, as I said there, to the Elba Tigers this Friday when they host Millry in the second round of the Alabama High School Athletic Association playoffs. Now let's look at the round 2 schedule. I know what you're saying. Phillip, you did not go over the scores from Friday. Actually, I did. Go over into the feed on the Wiregrass Daily News Sports feed. You'll see the post game from the Dothan Wolves Mary Montgomery game. Well, on there is also the post-game scoreboard show. So go check that out. What we're going to do here now is go over the schedule for this week. And also, I will talk about some news. A Wiregrass player is going to play for Alabama. But first, let's look at the schedule for round 2 for teams in the Wiregrass. In 7A, Enterprise will go to Mary Montgomery. It's the team that just beat Dothan. Of course, Enterprise had the convincing win over Daphne on Friday night. They will also play the winner of the Auburn Central Phoenix City game. So could be seeing another matchup with Enterprise and Central. Maybe Mary Montgomery can get their second ever playoff win and go meet Central. Usually Auburn and Central is a really big game. When they played a few weeks ago, it was a one-sided affair. Central has just been a great team all year. Some may think it's pretty much lining up for them at Thompson, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's a reason why they play it on the field and instead of us just talking about it. If we could predict anything so easily, there would be no need for the games we play. And a lot of times, as we saw in the first round, being favored can not always lead to an automatic victory. And then in 5A, Charles Henderson at 7-3 will be at 11-0. Gulf Shores, of course, Gulf Shores is in the news lately. You can go look that up. They will be playing the winner of UMS Wright at Headland. So we could have Wiregrass teams matching up in the third round. Other matchup in 5A, Demopolis will be at BC Rain. The winner of that game will play the winner of Faith Academy 8-3 at Eufaula. So Eufaula getting another home game here in the playoffs. In 4A, Andalusia will be at Jackson. Andalusia's 10-1 on the year, and then Jackson is undefeated at 10-0. They will be playing the winner between Hanley and Booker T. Washington. In 3A, Houston Academy 10-1 will be at 11-0 Mobile Christian. These two teams did meet up last year in the first round, and HA got knocked out in that one when they were the home team. So maybe they can return the favor this year with Mobile Christian. The winner of this game will play against Trinity or Flomaton. Thomasville will be at Strawn, and the winner of that game will play the winner between Randolph County in St. James. In 2A, Clark County 6-5 will be at Goshen, 9-2. Goshen had the exciting win over GW Long last week. The winner of that game will face either Highland Home, who's 10-1, or BB Comer, who is 11-0. Highland Home last week knocked out Ayrton in the first round. Cottonwood at 9-1 will go to play Isabella, who's 9-2, and the winner of that game will play Thorsby or Reeltown. So Cottonwood looking to continue the season, get that 10th win of the year. It's been a while since Cottonwood has done that, so be pretty cool if they could do that on Friday. Now we're jumping down into 1A. Lochapoka at 10-0 will be at 7-4 Brantley, and the winner of that game will play either Georgiana 9-2 or Leroy, who's 10-0. As a Cottonwood graduate, I can tell you every time I see the name Leroy, it brings some bad memories. My senior year in high school was 05. I'm a lot older than I think I am. So the 04 football season, and then the 05 season, they knocked Cottonwood out 2 years in a row. And both were kind of competitive games, so just brings up bad memories of the Bears. Unfortunately, losing the playoffs when I see the name Leroy pop up on anything. Then, of course, what we talked about with Coach Sieving. Millry at 9-2 will be at 11-0. Elba, and the winner of that game will meet up with the winner between Maplesville, who is 7-4, and Sweetwater, who is 9-1. Now, this Thursday, we got some championship football games going on in Montgomery at the Crampton Bowl in AISA. So, I'll let you guys know who's going to be playing in these championship games. In 3A, it'll be Glenwood versus Lee Scott. In 2A, it'll be Chambers Academy versus Banks Academy. And then in 1A, it'll be Lowndes Academy versus Wilcox Academy. And then finally, some news to talk about here on the show. Charles Henderson, junior defensive end Zion Grady, announced he is committing to the University of Alabama. Per the Dutton Eagle, he said, I went with Alabama because I feel like they can develop me best at the next level. He's a 6'4", 225-pound defensive end. He is a 5-star by most recruiting services. On the year, he has 70 tackles, 21 tackles for loss, 9 sacks, and 1 interception. So cool deal there for Zion Grady going to the University of Alabama. We'll see how he does. We'll see how he does this week. He's still got football games to play. As I said, in 5A, they'll be at Gulf Shores this week. That's going to do it for this edition of the show. Remember, you can follow me on social media at PJordanSEC. Podcast is available on all your favorite podcast platforms and WiregrassDailyNews.com. Go find the Wiregrass Daily News Sports feed to find this show. And also, you can email me at sports.phillipjordan@gmail.com. Now, we'll be back for more high school football stuff next week, recapping and looking back at what happened in round 2 with Wiregrass teams. Just kind of start looking over to the state as a whole, too, what is going on with some of these teams. And also, the rest of the week, we'll be keeping you updated on all the other stuff going on. Alabama, Auburn, the SEC. Some cool stuff to talk about with that when it comes to the SEC and some firings and stuff that happened on Sunday. But we'll jump into that throughout the week as well. Anyways, I hope everybody has a great day. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.